would have nothing to do with me because I have no idea about it. That would be a matter of whoever has these digital files sending them to Sean, and if Sean goes, yeah, this would be a certain amount of work. I'm guessing X number of hours to get these right up to snuff, or if Sean just breaks up laughing as he did when I mean he's very nice about it. He wouldn't actually laugh about it because he's not a cruel person. But when I sent him the scans that I had of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #8 that Pete Laird had sent me as part of our reciprocal ownership of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #8, it's like, these are useless. But it's okay. I've got this really clear black and white book that Kevin and Peter did way back when, and I can scan the turtles out of that and remaster that, and it'll look great. So that's one of those. Don't send me a fax about it. Just send Sean an email about it, and have whoever it is send him the digital files, and either Sean will be able to work with them or he won't be able to work with them.
Well, it was actually Sean that has the digital files.
It is Sean that has the digital files.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they remastered?
He didn't actually say. He said he got copies of them, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know what's happened with this, and he made it sound like it was backstage stuff that I wasn't involved in, but it sounds like it was really backstage, and you weren't involved either.
No, because this is not anywhere near the top of my list. I really have to get Cerebus Archive #1 to 18 into print and into everybody's hands who want it, because as I've been saying all along while people ask about this, after that it's going to be, are you ever going to continue doing Cerebus Archive? Like, when are you going to do issue 19? If you do issue 19, how soon after that is issue 20 coming out? And will there be another trade paperback of that one? It's like, it's just this endless headache for me. So
well,
I'm
I'm
trying to keep everybody halfway.
At a certain point, though, doesn't Cerebus Archive turn into the remastered Cerebus #1?
No. It's Cerebus Archive is, here's how Cerebus came about, and Cerebus #1 doesn't come into it until, I don't even know what issue, 9, 10, something like that. And that was automatic negative reaction from the entire Cerebus audience, what there was left of it in the early 2000s. I know Jeff Dundas said, well, I'm not buying it until Cerebus is in it. And it's like, well, it's very, very difficult to explain to you how Cerebus came about if I have to start with, okay, here's Cerebus #1 in issue #1. But that carried the day. It's like however many audience members there had been for Cerebus #300, that was absolutely cut down to maybe like 25% of that. And it's like, well, okay, Cerebus Archive isn't viable. I can't do it if Cerebus fans aren't going to buy it.
I remember when it came out, and my local comic book store had stopped ordering comics because there was a shakeup in management, and I'm like trying to find a new store, and in the meantime, the book got canceled because the sales weren't there. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to the print-on-demand place, and then I kept hearing everybody say how the shipping was just atrociously high. So everybody's waiting for there to be enough books to justify the shipping, and then the book ended.
Right, and when you're talking about the number of people, those are the rarest Cerebus comic books by a wide margin. I mean, I don't have the numbers right here to hand. They're in the Cerebus Archive in the correspondence boxes extensive levels of correspondence and sales figures and all the rest of it. I think the best that they ever sold was maybe like 50 copies each, 75 copies, and then a certain number of them would trickle out after that. There was just no viable business model, either for me or for Comics Press, to be able to do that in terms of, okay, this person wants a number 2 and a number 3 and a number 4 and a number 6, and this person wants a number 1 and a number 7. So we printed this whole print run of this indie publisher's number 1, and now we have to print these individual copies of Cerebus Archive and put them in plastic bags with backing board and put them in envelopes and mail them to the people. Yeah, they were charging what it cost them to mail the comic book. Imagine the nerve of those people.
I know.
Charging us what it costs to actually ship these things. And people were saying, well, okay, I'll just wait and let them build up. I have very few of them in the Cerebus Archive because I was doing the same thing. It's like, well, I've only got like 1 or 2 left of number 7 or whatever issue it is. And but I can always get more. It's print on demand. Just remember to ask them, can you print up 5 more number 7 and ship them up here? We could counterfeit them at Studio Comics Press. Just say, put the same ads on the back and the same covers on the front, and but they'd be in the same situation. It's like, I can't make money printing onesies and twosies of these. I do that for proofreading Cerebus in Hell. When an issue's done, I'm supposed to get a prototype of the issue, and then I proofread that because I'm looking at it as an actual comic book. The reason that I do that is because there are mistakes that you aren't going to see as digital files, but you will see when you're looking at a printed comic book. Most recently with Vault of Cerebus, which is the Halloween issue this year. Theoretically, we'll see how that pans out. And Benjamin Hobbs' story was formatted wrong, so parts of the strip were almost getting cut off. So at that point, it's okay. Tell Benjamin this is the situation. Fax over printed pages showing where the trim isn't working. He adjusts it, emails it to Studio Comics Press. They print out another prototype and give it to me. Those prototypes are like $7 each, $8 each. So if we do anything like that in regard to Cerebus, you're going to be talking about an $8 Canadian comic book with a $5 shipping charge, plus whatever it costs for the envelope and the backing board and the plastic bag. And that's just not to lose money. That would be just me going, okay, here's your $14 comic book, and this isn't rhetorical. I'm not making a nickel on the deal.
Right.
Right. So,
well, that's it. You know, when I was selling the Vark Wars and the Walt's Empire Strikes Back books, and I'm getting people going, okay, I want, one of each. All right. And where do you live? Canada. And I'm thinking it'd be easier and cheaper to get it from Dave.
Right. And easy and cheap are both relative terms. It's like we do enough mailing already here that's a good chunk of the check that I cut for Rolly every couple of he does all of the mailing and puts it on his credit card, and then basically gets reimbursed by Aardvark Vanaheim. There is absolutely nothing cheap about shipping anything to anybody under any circumstances, for any reason, anywhere on this planet at this point, and that's only going to get worse from here on out.
Well, that's your birthday card this year came back to me because it with insufficient postage, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And put it in a new envelope and put 2 stamps on it. I'm like, let's see if it'll work this time. Like, I can't believe that 1 stamp doesn't get it up to Canada anymore.
Yeah. It's I had Rolly going to the post office and get Linda to write out all of, because you can't go in and get a brochure of postage rates anymore. It's like, no, Grandpa, everything's done online. Just get out your cell phone, go to CanadaPost.ca, and it will tell you the cost of everything that you have to do at this particular moment in time. And it's like, well, okay, I'm not going to do that. The reason that I got Rolly to do it was, okay, you pick up stamps. I want a variety of stamps, variety of denominations, and here's how much it costs to send a comic book. So I can go, okay, that's two American stamps, 1 Canadian stamp, and a 5-cent stamp, and a 10-cent stamp. And I put that on there, and we'll get it there. And everybody's so philosophical about this that it's like, well, if you put 3 U.S. stamps on it, that'll get it there. Yeah, it'll get it there, but I'm overpaying by like 40 cents. I don't want to overpay by 40 cents. I want to put the right number of stamps on it to send it to whoever I'm sending it to. And I don't want to give Canada Post a tip. I understand they're not doing any better than anybody else, and they're heavily subsidized by the government. But I don't want to subsidize Canada Post personally. And it's just getting crazy. I still end up doing that a lot of times. If I've got a birthday card that I'm sending to somebody, and I put a couple of Service in Hell postcards in there, or something else, one of the bookmarks or whatever, it's like sort of weigh it in my hand. I can take it out back to Camp David and weigh it on the scale. No, better to just put another $1's worth of postage on it to make sure that it doesn't come back just the way that you're saying. Okay, so I think we've exhausted the subject anyway. If there is a whole lot of people, as you say, really interested,
I will let everybody know, and it'll be one of those. This is the situation. If you want to kick, we'll pass the hat around. If everybody wants to throw some money in the shiny metal helmet, we can get it done. Otherwise, you want it, but not enough to pay for it.